What's up guys, Justin here for S&S Archery. Today's gear video we're going to be looking at the Vortex Razor HD 4000 rangefinder. Personally, ever since they came out, it's been my favorite by far. Just the sleek design, but yet being so powerful and having all the different modes has just been a game changer. With this rangefinder, you have an adjustable eyepiece, you have a focus ring that you can fine tune to your eye. The battery life on this is going to last for about 4,000 measurements, so definitely good for a couple seasons. You got a built-in belt clip that you can move either on this side or the opposite. So whether you like it attached to your belt or up on, say, a bino harness, you can use that. Comes with an awesome case as well. As far as your buttons, very easy, great ergonomics to fit your hand. You have a measure button and you have your menu button to cycle through those different modes. With this rangefinder, this is a 7 power with a 25mm objective, so you're definitely getting some distance. It's going to help you see those animals and make those ranges more effective. As you can see, you also have a 1/4x20 thread adapter here on the bottom, so if you're using this at long distances, you want to make sure it's getting you an accurate read on whatever you're shooting at. You can definitely run it off of a tripod. Getting into the modes of this rangefinder. Basically, you have HCD mode, which is your horizontal component distance. So this is going to do the math for you and compensate for those angles. So say you're at an archery shoot, you step over the edge and you got a target that looks like it's 80 yards, but it's straight downhill. Well, this thing's going to do the math for you, and you might only have to shoot 45, 50 yards. So that's the mode I'll typically always run. You also have LOS, line of sight. So what this mode is going to do is as you push it, range your target, it's also going to give you a degree of that angle. So it may be a 29-degree angle, and this is beneficial for those long-range shooters. Guys that have their ballistics all dialed, they can punch that into their kestrel, all that information, wind, whatnot, and they can make that shot. So definitely more accurate, but the HCD does a great job as well. Getting into some of the sub modes of this rangefinder, this is where this thing really shines. So your normal mode you can use as independently by pushing your measure button on a specific target. You can also hold down your measure button and scan. So this is going to give you if you're holding down that scan button, as you pan across a tree at 10 yards and then it jumps to 60 and 40, it's just going to keep constantly changing. The next mode is first mode. So this is very beneficial if you have, say, an animal in front of a bunch of obstructions. You have something coming in, you have an elk, and there's a bunch of trees and a backdrop and all these gaps. Well, as you're clicking, trying to determine what distance this animal's out, and you keep missing, it's going to give you that distance behind the animal. But as long as you hold your measure button down, this only works in scan mode, you're going to hold it down. As soon as you pan across that closest target, it's going to lock on that closest distance. So that's a great benefit of using first mode. The next mode is last mode. Same thing, you got to hold the button down, you got to be in scanning. So where this is beneficial is we've been hunting a bunch of burned timber. There's been a bunch of elk that we can barely see working their way through. Start with a close tree in front of that animal, work your way back through those gaps until you're at that level, and it's going to give you that longer distance and it's going to hold. So as long as you don't go past that elk, it's going to give you that exact distance. So with those two modes, those are my favorite. Been using the heck out of them a lot, but you do have to be scanning with that. Your last mode, ELR mode, this is your extended laser range mode. Definitely mounted up on a tripod. It's going to give you the most distance capabilities out of this rangefinder. With all these, I'll go ahead and list out a chart so you guys can get the breakdown of all the stats on what mode will range at what distances, whether it's reflective or an actual deer, an elk, and so you guys can see the breakdown. Overall, I think you can't go wrong with this rangefinder. It is absolutely phenomenal, packed into such a small device. If you guys have any questions about the Vortex Razor HD 4000 rangefinder, please feel free to give us a call, shoot us an email. We'd be glad to help, and thanks for watching.